So, welcome back to the IE Productions channel on this another episode of Sound Bits, where I get to talk. I get the opportunity to be able to talk with up and coming artists from all over, and this is actually episode 3. And this is actually by sheer coincidence, by happenstance as well, that I actually get to talk with Mr. Mike Yorks today. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna explore a little bit about his background in music and see where it leads us to, especially as another service member, but also an aspiring artist, just like Malik in the previous episode. But before I get into any more details and ask him any more questions, I'll let him introduce himself, get a little bit of his story, and then we'll get right into the interview. So whenever you're ready, man.
How you doing? I'm Mike Yorks, aspiring artist, also service member in the Navy. Can't complain. I really want to thank Jonathan for having me on here at Sound Bits. It's an amazing opportunity to just showcase my, not even just talents, but just showcase my passion, and also just have a great conversation about what we both are, fond of. So thank you. I appreciate it.
No, dude. And like I said, before we even started recording, I appreciate you coming on, and like I said, just by happenstance, and it just kind of happened to be by third party after the fact that I had done the interview with Malik. Your producer, your current producer, is actually the one that reached out to me and said, "Hey, man, I got this dude, Mike Yorks, dude. Hit him up. He's an up and coming artist. I think he'll be a good fit for the interview." And then that literally just got rolling within like 48 hours, and like we're literally sitting here on a Friday afternoon and getting ready to talk, man. But yeah, dude.
Yeah, man, it's awesome, man. It's just quick. Sometimes you just got to do things quick. Don't take no breaks. Just go for it, man. It's all natural. It's all beautiful. I love it.
Exactly, dude. So yeah. So while things are hot right now, we'll make it work. But let's actually just shift this strictly on you. So starting off, so I know you're a service member. You said you're a service member, but let's get to know Mike from before. Where are you originally from? How was that growing up for you? And then we'll get started. We'll get asking on a couple other things that might come up, man.
All right. So, man, I am Mike Yorks, Michael Yorks, government name. But pretty much, I grew up in Miami. I was born and raised in Miami. When I was 11 years old, me and my family, we went back to where we're originally from, Suriname, which is in South America. The capital is called Paramaribo, and we stayed there for, I guess, 7 years to 8 years before I came back to America for college. But I have a diverse portfolio of where I've been living in my life. So yeah, I've just been all over the place. But honestly, it was just the shift of cultures from being raised in Miami and then going to South America, and then just being with my people in a sense, to the calm living of life, and just understanding that, you don't need much. You just need family, you just need culture. You just need that essence of togetherness. And I loved it. It changed my life forever. And I was 11 and then left at 18. And I can't imagine where I would be if I wasn't there during that time. But that's where I was raised,
No, that's freaking awesome. And like, it's one of those very specific things about being a person that's born outside of the United States internationally. And then on top of that, like the fact that, and I'm going to be very, very blunt about this, but no disrespect, is like there are Black people outside of the United States and outside of Africa. And what a lot of people don't understand is that a lot of South America, there's a lot of Black people too, African American descent people, Afro-Latino, Tainos, all those people. Yeah. So like I said, man, like no, like I said, in the whole, within the context, it's just like, it's good to know and understand that there's a very good mix of cultures coming in from what you're providing, but also your experience in general. So with that though, living in South America, I'm guessing you definitely speak Spanish, 100%.
This is the funny part.
Oh shoot, you're killing me, man.
Man, I got to put a twist, So this is a Dutch colony, actually. We speak Dutch and a dialect called Stranantono. Mm-hmm. And I speak both fluently. I can't say I speak fluently anymore because I haven't been there. I haven't been around my people most of the time. But once I go back there, everything starts to flow again. But I do speak Dutch and Stranantono. And everybody does ask, do you speak Spanish? Do you speak Portuguese? Because it's right above Brazil. But nah, yeah, nah.
No,
It's all Dutch. It's just Dutch.
no, you know what? My apology on that, dude. I am
No,
the one
you
that's
good.
uneducated. No,
Hey, it's a misconception, but it's all good, you know?
no, but that's badass though, dude. But that goes to prove the whole thing is something fun. Is like even on deployment, on my last
Yeah.
deployment, I met a actual like full on Brazilian, like straight up from Brazil, from Rio. And we were having a talk, and she's like, "Hey, it's like I'm from like where you from? Like you don't look very American." And I'm like, "I don't know. Can you guess?" It's like, "You're Mexican." I was like, "Yeah, what gave it away?" It's like, "I don't know. I don't know. Something about it. Something about it." And I look at him like, "You don't look very American either." It's like, like what would you guess? It's like, I don't know. It's like, I'm Latino. And like I'm a Latina, and I'm like, like that narrows it down. But in short, she told me she was from Brazil. I'm like, and that's very true though. Like that's one of those regions where it's like that's a very, very specific to Brazil and a couple of the other countries in South America, man. Yeah. But that's freaking awesome. Like that I said, I learned something new right there, just in general.
It's awesome. Education.
Exactly. Exactly, dude. So then tell me, so you grew up you were born in Miami. You grew up until about 7 years old in Miami. Around what year was that when you were there before you actually moved down to South America?
So actually it was at 11 years old. It was like 2005. We went back to Suriname, and then I got to, of course, meet my grandma, my grandpa, everybody, my aunts and everything. And it was just an amazing experience to really just like you're not even thrown into it. It's just more so like, all right, this is what we're doing right now. So let's enjoy this as a family, and let's come together, and we gonna pick up the pieces where it falls or where they rise, right? So with that being said, yeah, it was not even shocking for me because I was 11. I was young. Like it wasn't even like I was like, all right, I guess we're doing this, mom, like and pops, like it wasn't even that deep. But yeah, that shaped a lot of my life, like really shaped everything. So yeah, big piece, as you can see how I'm animated about it. Big piece of my life, yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. And especially like just how much of a melting pot Miami is in general. I mean, but like focusing on the music in 2005, it's like that's already a little bit of like the heavier, well, not a little bit of like the popularity boom of a lot of the big artists coming out of Miami, and then just kind of like the southern United States, both either hip hop, R&B, all types of other like even some romantic stuff, but like specifically like the one person that comes to mind, and especially just because I saw the 305, is freaking Pitbull. But that's a different subject for a different day. How was the music scene in 2005 while you were still there before you went to South America?
Man, when I think about 2005, all I can picture is Rick Ross coming up. I can picture Trick Daddy. Trick Daddy was all over the TV, BET, the award shows, everything. And then of course Pitbull. Like, come on, dollars, Mr. 305, like he was everywhere. But yeah, but another main artist that wasn't from Miami, but that was of course big in that region because it's such a melting pot of culture, right? Sean Paul, that was all over, just different types of, not even just genres, but just fields of music were there. And man, yeah, from the Haitian culture, the Puerto Rican culture, to Cuban culture, like all of us were just listening to the same beautiful music and just enjoying life. And I was young too, but I loved it, man. I loved it, especially at that time. Yeah.
Dude, no, that's awesome. Freaking, and just kind of like how I told Malik too, like that Miami was another mecca of the big major music areas, especially with that mixture of reggaeton and a lot of the other salsa Caribbean music, along with the southern style rap of the East Coast. Like freaking, like a lot of the after effects of Naughty by Nature, like that hit right there. Like as soon as you mentioned Rick Ross, Trick Daddy, I'm just like, that's all southern right there, man. That's that shift from the Midwest, the South Midwest, all the way down south to Miami, dude. So I was like, so you had a huge influence on that.
Oh yeah, I
And
can't even forget Daddy Yankee. Daddy Yankee was another one who was big at that time. 2005, you got to think Daddy Yankee. He was Mecca, like he was big, man. It was crazy.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, dude. Like, I mean, I grew up in northern Nevada, man, and like freaking Hispanic community near Sacramento,
Oh
2 hours from
yeah.
Sacramento, Reno, Nevada. And we were listening to Daddy Yankee, freaking Mr. 305. So it's like everything
Yes,
that you
sir.
mentioned, I'm just like, I'm not unaware of it, but we definitely had some influence in that too.
Definitely, definitely.
But
Yeah.
let's push it a little bit forward. So you left Miami, you went
Yeah.
back home to your roots, especially at a really pivotal point in your life. I mean, you that's 11 years old. You're hitting puberty. You're seeing a lot of the changes. How was that? I don't know. I don't want to say, was it a jarring effect going back to
Mhm.
such a quick change into in drastic culture? And
Yeah.
then how was the music scene there, especially, like I said, big difference from going to hearing a lot of English and Spanish speaking in Miami to just like your native tongue, what you would basically be hearing at home.
So pretty much it wasn't a change. Why? Because my mom, my pops, they always kept me rooted. They always kept me rooted. They always played Surinamese music. They always played our music from that culture while we were growing up in Miami. So it wasn't a change. But of course, it was more so Surinamese music, Caribbean music. It was more so a change of, there was not much hip hop. Of course, people loved it, but it was mainly reggaeton or Surinamese music and of course dancehall and whatnot. But yeah, at that age, I noticed that as a kid, I can really get introduced into a new environment and be okay. And to speak about the future, that's how I, succeeded in the military greatly because no matter what situation I'm put in, I feel like, I can just adjust. Like it's okay. Like meet new people. You'll be all right. Be yourself. Love how you want to be loved. It's all good. Like everything's fine. But yeah, and my parents instilled that into me, So with that being said, like going there and just listening to that music, it also gave me more perspective of what music should sound like, right? There's sometimes where as eras change, like that old person in you is like, nah, man, I'm still listening to Tupac and Biggie back in the day because I don't know what these new cats are on right now, right? But it's just a nice change and a nice feel when you listen to different cultures and different instruments, different feels. Like, hey, yeah, I don't even know how to explain it, but it just shifts everything into you of trying to write new music too as an artist too, you know.
Oh yeah,
That's what.
it gives you that general that it actually it
Yeah.
doesn't generalize the perspective. It focuses it.
Yes, it
That's
does.
that's one thing
Great point.
I've oh yeah, very much. And that's one thing
Yeah.
I've learned from my musical taste, especially like I said, not going the general conventional routes, man. And recognizing that in some of the songs that I've been hearing from what do you call it, from your catalog, from your repertoire, and it makes a lot of sense in that sense. In that what do you call it? In that direction, it makes sense how some of these
Got
songs came to be. So you're in Suramia, right? Did I say it right?
Suriname.
Suriname. My bad, dude. Suriname.
No,
You're
you
in,
good. Yeah.
so you're in Suriname.
Yeah.
You're there for a good while. You basically experience your early formative years with music. At what time did you return back to the States and I guess join the military, man?
So I was 18. This was 2012. I can remember it like it was yesterday. 2012, graduated high school there. I was actually at an American school. It's a Christian American school there that they set up. And yeah, we graduated. So much great memories with the people I met there, and I still talk to this day. And yeah, we went to my brother actually was in Tallahassee already. He had went to college. Also, he was born in Miami also, so went back to college before me. He's my older brother.
Mhm.
And my mom set up a way for us to be in the same city. I'll go to a community college. It was called TCC, Tallahassee Communities, or sorry, Tallahassee Community College or whatnot. And I think it changed to like Tallahassee State College now. But yeah, I went there and it was nice. It was a nice change, but that was the shift. That was actually where I had to really gain my composure in a change of environment. It was easier as a kid to move from Miami to Suriname, but Suriname back to the States was a whole different story. It was like, oh, snap, I'm back. You know, it's just like, but what do I expect? I didn't grow up here. You know, in your adolescent years, that's where you form your not just personality, you form your thoughts, you form your beliefs, you form the person that you are, right? So it was definitely a shift, but it was okay. It was fine. Everything worked out. So with that being said, 2 years in Tallahassee State College, I joined the Navy. So 2014, I talked to the recruiter. You know, actually, funny story. My roommate, my roommate came and said, "Hey man, I'm gonna join the military. I hope it's okay with you." I'm like, "I'm not in charge of your life, but I got you. You know, I support you and everything." The recruiter comes in. She's like, "Hey man, I see you sitting over there. Do you want to, take a test, do this? Do you think about joining the military?" I was like, "I'm good. I'm chilling." And then the next day they come back and then they're like, "Hey, I'm still here. Do you want to?" I was like, "You know what? Why not? Let me just do this test." And yeah, they got me. They got me 10 years in, sir. But yeah, we're here. You know, it's just been a great experience, to be honest. But 2014, decided to join the military, and it changed my life again. So in a good way. So yeah.
And no, and it always seems to be a little bit like that with a couple of the situations with the military in itself. I mean, granted, there's a lot of polarizing opinions on how recruiters work, but in a lot of ways, it makes it a big difference in the way that people thrive and how they really develop a lot of their niche into the activities and hobbies that they actually pursue after the fact or even while they're in service. So that's pretty interesting because, like, man, so you're going on 10, I'm going on 12 years now. So not that far off difference. So we've seen the shifts and the changes.
Yeah.
So
yes,
it's crazy, man. So
yeah.
You're in the Navy, you're in the military in freaking 2014. There's a lot going on between everything out there.
Yeah.
How was music for you while you were in service? You know, you're completing your training, you're checking into your first command. How was all of that shift over from what do you call it? Yeah, from your new experience. I mean, strict and order.
So it kind of has to entangle with before I got back to America. So 2012, I'm sitting there writing music. I mean, I've been writing music since I was 4 years old, like just because of my pops. My pops used to go to the studio and I would say, "Where did you go, Pops?" He'd be like, "I was at the studio just recording." He used to perform at parties with my uncles and whatnot. And I used to just watch them and like eyes wide and everything. And then I'll just go back, grab a little piece of paper and start writing.
I had enough sex. Talking up a storm, yeah, I hear her up there. Cause if you upset, you can bring it downstairs. Nah, keep it upstairs, I ain't trying to get wet. Pause, get it? Nah, I never should have crossed her. So right before the toss up, I mean, she play good D when she take good D. Nigga, she the only one up on the roster.
Fast forward, of course, when I'm in Suriname, I'm in middle school, high school. I meet this friend called Sadell. I call him Daily. Shout out to him. Amazing producer, amazing person. One of my closest friends, my best friend, to be honest. And he just started to make beats. I'm just like, "Bro, why are you so good?" He had Logic and everything. And we're just singing and rapping. And his mom sets up a studio session. It was just amazing. At that time, it was just like, this is actually happening. I can do this, and stuff like that. And another sad story, but my boy Correlate, he was the one I really was working with to like, "Hey, we can make this happen. We can make this happen." He had passed away in 2014 when I actually decided to join the military. But he left that living dream in me, like, "I'm gonna do this for you, Doc. No matter what, I got you." Still talk to his mom to this day and his pops and his younger brother. But it's just one of those things that shaped me. So going from there to college in 2012, 2014, before I decided to join the military, I met this guy named Richard James and my boy Chubb and TJ. We were all in, just in college setting, just in dorm rooms or whatnot, just dreams of making music, like, because we all had that same common passion and whatnot. And we just we recorded stuff, we tried to, release it, and it all worked out in a sense of, hey, we actually made a project. Did it sound good? I don't know, but if I listen back to it now, we did what we could at the time. They're my peoples. They're my peoples. So from there, once I joined the military, I was like, I have to figure out a way to make our passion actually come into fruition. So when I joined in 2014 and 15 is when I was actually, in A school and going to my first command, I met these other people, amazing people. This guy named Tiquan, Smitty, Brandon Smith, and Stefan Brown. We talked about him briefly before the interview started. And we just decided to just, hey, man, like we love music. Like we make it all the time while we on this ship, struggling together. Why not just, find a studio and whatnot? And it just transferred into us finding a studio. This guy named B-Beck, amazing person. And this guy named Ray that I met, that they had separate studios. I used to work with both of them. And that's where the music actually started to come into fruition. That's where the music started to sound good. That's where the dream started to actually feel like it was actually flowing, right? So that's just the early stage. But yeah, and then speaking of Stefan Brown, from then to now, I used to tell him, God, bro, like you have an ear for music. Get into something. Get into engineering. I believe in you. You believe in my music. I believe in you that we can make a team out of this. And that's my guy. Like he makes my music sound so amazing to this day. Like it's just amazing. And yeah, like I can't say enough words about him and about all the other people that I've met that have shaped me, and in my music journey. So yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those things that really makes a big difference, especially who you have around you in those early years. In those early years, especially like around, like you said, between the 2000, well, even then before 2012 to 2014, when you were in Tallahassee with that first crew, but just your childhood friends and what do you call it, back in Suriname. So there's a lot of preparation to where you currently are right now with your production and what do you call it, with both your production, your lyricism, and then just in general your inspiration to be able to continue to try to be an artist. And with that, you're in 2014, 2015. There's a lot to be said with the current situations around that time and you guys being on the ship. How was that, I guess, on your second or your third deployment, man? Because like I said, I spoke briefly about it with Malik, and like I said, big difference, but you understand that during that time, like we weren't exactly at war, but there was still some danger to it. But like finding ways and outlets to be able to relieve that stress that wasn't just video games and thinking about a beer over the next port.
Facts. Oh man, all we had was the mess decks, which is, for layman's terms, the kitchen area and music. Man, I would be up there at 11 p.m. till 2 p.m. While, most of my friends, as I mentioned, Tiquan, Brandon, they were CSs, so they worked in the kitchen area. So if they were working at night, I was on the mess decks just making beats, singing songs, and us creating stuff. That passed the time by, but it also, brought us together close, man. It was, and there's this other dude, Smack. He was an amazing dude. Still to this day, that's my boy. But yeah, he was always there with us, setting things up, keeping us good, man. Corbett is another guy. I just want to shout out everybody because it's just those people, they shaped everything, man. It was crazy. But yeah, deployment was rough. I'll tell you that. It was rough, but those 7 months, luckily it wasn't 9, but 7 months were amazing because we made the music that we make now, so it was all for a purpose. It was all for a purpose. Yeah.
And that's badass, dude. That's like where it actually makes the biggest difference is like I said, who you have around you when you're going through that general struggle of trying to make it. And with that, let's actually step into the music. So we got a little bit of a preface of how it was to be able to get you built up to where you kind of are right now. So talking into the music, what are some of, like, I guess, current inspirations that you pull to be able to make some of the songs before we actually get into the specific ones that we're going to be talking about.
Yeah. So, man, I like to branch off. Like I like to just kind of get a essence of what I'm feeling at the moment before I write a song, or just freestyle something and see what fits into those pockets, depending on what the beat sounds like, depending on how I'm feeling, of course. But creating at that time was really simple because you're on the ship, you had nothing to do. Or even now, like creating is really simple. It's just hit somebody with something that they feel also. Like just be yourself. Honestly, nobody is like you on this earth. Just be yourself, put it out. If they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. But create, be an artist, right? But yeah, more so into just how we made music. I remember my friend Tiquan at the time when we were on the ship, he was so talented, still to this day, so talented. And he used to just have freestyles of stuff. And I used to help him write stuff. And he would help me write stuff. He helped me shape flows and different notes and stuff. I'm like, how do you hit that, dog? And he coached me. He doesn't believe it. If he hears this, flip this. If he hears this, he's gonna be like, nah, I don't believe him. But yeah, definitely, he helped me so much at that time. But when it comes to creation for music, make something that hits people, and that's what I was always going for, in a sense of relatability, or sometimes branch out. My favorite genre is indie music. I love acoustic guitar. I'll listen to that more than I'll listen to rap and R&B, the music that I usually make. That settles me, that calms me down, that gets me throughout the day. And it helps me actually songwrite, because if you listen to certain, artists that play the guitar and then they just make their beautiful ballads, you can hear the emotion in every single line, and it tells a story. And that's what I was always going for when it came to certain songs and certain vibes. So yeah,
dude. And then so going on with the first song that we're going to be talking about, so Summertime and Fine Line. So here's the line. So going in there, I like how you actually did. It's like a melding of two different types of tones. I'm gonna put it like that.
Yeah.
So Summertime is that higher upbeat. It's like, it could be a party anthem for like the summer cruising, everything. And then you hit that end of that first like minute and a half, minute 45, and then it just like you hit the brakes legitimately, dude. And then it switches to Fine Line. So before we get into that, so Call Me When It's Summer, I'll pick it up on sight. That's the line that caught me off of the first part of Summertime. So give me a little bit more on what the lyrics is, because like I said, it sounds very, 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 like I said, cruising, like we're gonna have a good time, but that undertone,
hands
man.
Out the window. It's hands out the window vibe, man. It's sunroof up, like, you know what I mean? It's just a vibe. It's just.
Call me when it's summer. I'll probably pick it up on sight. Tell me when to come over. Oh, summer night. Remember we was kids. We were half the fears. Pocket full of lead. Think you got the gist. Remember that? Call it summer until fall came, baby. Shaved ice cravings, palm tree swing.
It was June, maybe like June 25th, 2022 when I was writing this, man. It was a beautiful moment. My wife was pregnant at the time. She was just sitting on the bed, and I was like, I'm gonna make a summer song. Like, I love summer. We're in Hawaii at the time. I'm like, I got to, like, something that lasts, and I can, just repeat every summer. I can just be like, hey guys, it's summer, here's the song again. Like, I don't know, but Call Me When It's Summer, I'll probably pick it up on site because I love summer. Everybody loves summer, I believe. I love summer so much. It's just a vibe. It's just a time where even if you're not on vacation, you feel like you're on vacation when you get off work or something like that, man. So making that song was really, really simple. That song was actually written in 35 minutes. I'll never forget. It was just all the freestyle in a sense. And I was like, all right, let me put these pieces together. And then Fine Line is a different story. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah. So here, before we get into Fine Line, so how I wrote this, it's two songs in one. And the first part is kind of like a romantic ballady. And you know what? You literally talking about it. It's like, man, like you step outside, it's summertime, you're in Hawaii. It reminds me of what do you call it? The Boys of Summer, How it's kind of like it's there. It's like you talking about it. It's like, dude, that's a modern take on the Boys of Summer, because it's like it's still kind of sad, it's still kind of ballady, but it's like you're having a good time. But
Exactly.
when you switch over to Fine Line, dude, that's where it kind of sounds like a confession of sorts. Like that's how I read most of the lyric when I was listening to it. So how do both of the songs combine into each other?
So it's just more of a feel of night and day. That's what I kind of wanted to put into a perspective. Like summer is amazing when the sun's out, but it's also amazing when it's, you know, sunset to sundown. You know what I mean?
It's a fine line, living in real life on your timeline. I can do you right, show you that limelight. Talk to me real nice, talk to me nice. Talk to me real nice. Whoa, heard you had a lot before. Baby, you done lost control. You been trying to dodge the smoke, baby. Wait, whoa, heard you live a couple blocks from the seashore. You been tripping, say you wanted me to be yours. I ain't really with it, I've been sipping on my ego. Cause it's so fine.
The first song, Somersault, was more like a letter to Summer. Like, look, I'm waiting. Like, I want this vibe again, you know? And then Fine Line is more like, all right, we're calming down for the night. Let's all just lounge out and chill. And of course, I'm talking about a female in the song too. But yeah, it was more so that female represents a lot of what I went through every single summer throughout my life with a certain female or whatnot. That shaped me, and for my music, it was easier. It's like Taylor Swift making a hit after she breaks up with somebody. Easy with easy lyrics. Like, but like, yeah, it was. Fine Line is such a sundown song. Like, all right, we got the bonfire out. Let's set up the candles, whatever. Let's you know, set up the fire. Let's get some marshmallows, some, you know, it's graham crackers, something like that. I don't know. It's a vibe. It's just something where, you know, it's going to repeat in your head over and over again. That's another thing. But one of the lyrics that hit me is always just, it's a fine line, living in real life or on your timeline. Like, that hits me because it's just like, I don't want to be posting stuff on Instagram all the time. And that's what they see of me, but it's totally different from where I am. I always wanted it to be like coexistent, man. I'm the same person wherever I am, you know, and that line came up. And it just fit. It just fit the vibe. You know, it just fit the vibe.
No, and you can really feel like the emotion, and you can really feel the shift, especially with that. And then you explaining it gives it like that little bit of extra context to kind of like, hey, oh, that's what this line was. That's what this lyric is. So
definitely.
No, dude, I like it. I like it. Like I said, I was listening to it. I'm just like, this is definitely it's like you said, it's a vibe. It's a vibe, but like I said,
yeah.
Me, I love to dig into the subcontext. I'll just put it that way, man. When I look into a song, I love to analyze the hell out of it and to know, but it's like you really think about the lines and how they represent a lot of the emotions and the experiences. So with that one, moving on to Night Like This. So yeah, exactly. So I saw the clip on Spotify. The clip on Spotify itself is, I like it. It's like, all right, you guys are having a good time out there, but the lower we get, the higher we get. That's the line that caught me in there. And then, so it's kind of like an interaction, right? On events and the night with someone, but it's very emotionally charged. It's not just kind of like we're going out there to party.
Nah. It's such a story. Man, just to get into it real quick, it's really simple. I had a rough day, or not even rough day. It was a rough week at work. You know how it feels to be in the military, have a rough little week, you know, and you're like, it's Friday. I'm literally sitting in the studio. I'm like, I need to go out with my friends. Like, I'm tired. I'm drenched. I need something. I need my homies. I need my peoples with me.
Pulled up in a drop top, I ain't in my right mind. I needed a night like this. Lit up like a matchbox, I just took my last shot. I needed a night like this. Like this, like this, like this. I'm tryna get to the root of it, bitch. You try to make it way more than it is. I hit you up when I'm lonely and shit. Shit is perpetual, I got a schedule, you got a schedule. Shit'll feel better though. It just might be for the moment.
And we didn't go out that week. So I was like, all right, let me just sit down and just write this song. And I was kind of foreplaying what a night like this would be like. Like, let me talk about all the struggles. And it was pretty much a generic song. It wasn't pretty much directed at somebody. It was something of, this is how I feel right now. And I know somebody's gonna relate to this in so many senses. The lower we is, the higher we get. In a sense of, you know, you wanna feel a different type of feeling. Serotonin, something like that. You just wanna feel different when you're down. And yeah, and you just wanna just forget about your struggles. Not saying it's always good. Sometimes you just gotta face your problems. But most of us, let's be real, we feel like that. Sometimes we just need a night out. And we just need to just vibe and come back to it. But yeah, writing that song was one of the easiest things because I felt it at that time. I just wanted to go out with the homies. That was it, man. It was a simple song and it was made right in a bedroom just like this. It was simple. Sent it off to Stephon Brown. I'm telling y'all need to hit him up. He's gonna change your life with that music production. It's crazy. But yeah.
No, dude, that sounds like a very unique concept to that song in itself. And like I said, that line how you mentioned it, it's like, it's very, very specific to like that situation. And damn, man, I was wondering why I was getting it, but I wasn't getting it at the point. And I'm just like, they're like, I don't want to assume it's drugs, but we're kind of there, aren't we?
Nah. It's generic. You know what I mean? Like, the lower you feel, you want to feel something else, right? You want something that gets you hype. You want to feel a rush, right, of some sort. I ain't gonna be here and saying drugs. That's not me. But you know, it's just generic. It's really true. As human beings, when you're down, you want something that's gonna help you feel better, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It mean anything.
Exactly. And that makes that more sense. Like I said, I didn't want to say it like that in the sense like, oh man, they're out here doing stuff. Like, no, that makes it, that extra context gives it that little oomph that I was trying to feel about it. And yeah, dude. And with that in itself, like I said, it was, like I said, back to it being so emotionally charged in the moment, in the situation, to the effect of how things were. So
man.
It just fits perfectly. It fits perfectly. So let's see. The last one from the three most recent ones that you sent me was Correlate. So no, that ain't me. That's the part where it got me, where it's like, I want to say it was either kind of like near the bridge or kind of in the chorus. But the thing that kind of aligns with how that line itself kind of stood out is the way that the song itself is very down tempo and very bluesy. It's definitely a more melancholic kind of feel to it in its sense. So I don't want to say there's a little bit of sadness to it, but it's like it's a little bit more kind of too extra feel to it, man.
Oh yeah, it's such a vibe. I think I wrote that in 2020, COVID year. That was a big COVID year. At that time, I was in Jacksonville on TAD, or pretty much being relocated for a short period of time. And yeah, it was such a vibe. Like, I was listening to the beat, neo soul vibe. Something where you can just kind of melt into, like a marshmallow, if you will, just kind of just vibe to. But no, that ain't me. When I was freestyling before, I usually freestyle, just say random mumbo jumbo before I actually write a song. And the flow came out, and I was
no, that ain't me. I know it's inconvenient, but correlate with me. My time it ain't free. My time it ain't free. Correlate with me. I've been on fire. Don't put out my fire, baby. Know you want me over, I ain't staying long. I've been on a roll, I need my hair right. You've been working hard to take the edge off.
It's like, in a sense, depicting like, hey, no matter what you think I am, that's not me. You know, I am who I am. That's how I'm gonna present myself. But whatever rumors there are about me doing this, doing that, and the third, that ain't me. And that's all I'm gonna say about it. You know what I mean? It's just kind of a letter to people who might, you know, think think of something different of somebody else, or you know, making rumors about somebody, or even just the depiction of somebody. Get to know somebody before you start talking about somebody, in a sense. And it's kind of generic. Another one that people can relate to. Yeah, that's not me. I don't know what you're talking about. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, dude. Especially when you're talking about the grapevine like that. It's like, and I mean, we can say from our personal experience how things said definitely get around very quickly, especially in the confined quarters how we've lived in, and to kind of like look at the what do you call it, the writing process of it. It just relates to so many things just in general, and it makes sense. It makes sense, and like I said, that's the part that got to me. It's like there's a reason why it's called Correlate. Like you can't just match 1 and 1 and make it count to 2, but nothing's adding up in that sense. Exactly, dude. Exactly. So moving on to the fourth one, You and Everything Else. So it's one of your older ones in your catalog. It's a little bit it's a little bit older, man, but I like it. I like it because you can definitely start seeing a lot of the shift and progression in your writing style, but also the way that you as an artist are evolving to be able to kind of match a little bit of the current times and at the time. So with that one, I didn't really write anything too much specific, but just the vibe itself, the emotional is like, it gave me a lot of very weekendy likes. It was like The Weeknd, but like I said, is the exact same. It's like a more soulful kind of song. Like the beat was just like, it hits very differently. Like I said, like I would like this one, I can for sure out of these ones that what do you call it, your catalog that I was sampling, this one I didn't feel like listening to the lyrics, but it like the beat itself, and it just melded somehow, man.
Oh man, that was written in 2021. Yeah, I remember that, January 2021, before the album came out, man. I was like, I want to make something that's just just hits, some R&B vibes, like some old stuff, like some that's more relatable now in a sense of more modern, but R&B vibes.
Ain't it past midnight? Tell me what you think of when you're dreaming. Heartbroken every year, but it's a new guy. Guess they don't do right by you. I know what you need. I know what you craving for. Hopeless romantic. You're too young to be this hurt.
And it's just a letter of love, towards somebody, in a sense, like you're fine, like you're good, you and everything else, you matter, like, you know what I mean? Like, it could be towards a female, for a female towards a male, saying, it's just like a letter. It's just, I'll write a lot of letters. And one thing I do just for music purposes, like when it comes to writing, I love to write about other people's situations and turn them into a song, because a lot of other people are going through it. It could be including me, and it's also be like, hey man, I wrote a song about the story you told me yesterday when you were venting. Like, hey, I got you. If you want me to release it, I got you, shout you out, whatnot. But yeah, that's where a lot of my material comes from. I like to write about other people's situations. It's like writing movies or writing scripts for movies, right? A lot of movie scripts come from real life situations. It's that simple. So it's beautiful. And yeah, that's You and Everything Else was, man, you brought that out the vault, man. I forgot about that song, man. That was a classic.
Dude, I don't want to say I'm like Nardwar, dude, but I love seeing the evolution, man. That's the so to me, doing these interviews is like stepping back and getting to know someone a little bit more in a different depth. But what I like to do with that is listen to the type of emotions that you're trying to convey within the lyrics. Like I said, man, I like to overanalyze a lot of the words, right?
Yeah.
And with that one, like I said, it hit very specific. It hit very specifically. Like you said, it's a feeling, it's an emotion. And then just listening to it, like I said, no BS, no, what do you call it? Yeah. No BS, no reservations, just straight up. Hey, this one, just flip it on, turn the lights off, let the LEDs flash on and off, however you want to do it. And you just feel it. You just feel it, dude. Can't do candles nowadays. Shit burns down too quickly, but that's that,
Most
dude.
Definitely. That's that vibe, that candlelight vibe.
Exactly, dude. Exactly. And I'm gonna put it like this, dude. Like, listening to your songs before we get to this very last one is like, you give me a lot of like your newer stuff is a little bit kind of like a couple years back, Chris Brown, right? With a little bit of the R&B and a little bit of like that new age rap, but at the same time, it's a lot of the early 2000s, mid 2000s, some Pretty Ricky, dude. You gave me some Pretty Ricky vibes real quick, and I'm like, dude, there's something in there, man. And I don't know, like, unless you're older like us, you're not gonna get who Pretty Ricky is. But at the same time, it's like B2K, Pretty Ricky, Omarion, freaking
at that time.
Exactly,
Legends.
dude. So
man, they tore up the radio at that time, man.
Exactly, dude. So it's just like I said, I'm listening to this and I'm like, it's funny how we literally gather a lot of the stuff that we kind of grew up with and we push it back into how the production gets into how it gets into the production and how we take from it. So
most definitely.
With this very last one, this is one of your first ones off of your first album, and I'll even year drop it for you, 2018. And I saw a couple references in there. I saw Donald Glover on the cover from This Is America. I didn't think I was gonna do that one. I saw that one. And I'm just like, did this man really just? I love it. I love it though, dude. So talk to me about Greenlight.
All right, so Greenlight. Well, let's talk about the cover real quick. Not something too long, but my boy Vehar, Jesus Vehar, man, he made the cover. He does animation to this day, and he's an amazing animator, and he does amazing things. And we're gonna continue to work. But he made my first cover art for an album. It was really dope. And it kind of just portrayed everything. Like my mom's in there, my wife currently now, amazing. She's in there. And I met her on the ship also at the time when I met everybody else, which is awesome. But speaking of Greenlight, Stefan sent me a beat and I was like, all right, man, I gotta make another song. Honestly, I love making songs, so it's easy. But he sent it to me and I felt it right away because it was a sample of, that I feel like what you done to me. It was amazing. You like what you done to me.
Greenlight, we say we can. What I'ma do without you? She like, sorry for my words. Hit me when you can, girl. I've been on the move. What it's gonna be like? We can late night or what you wanna do? Look, I'll be on my wedding. Hit me with your locate. She stay at the day, and I've been on my lonesome. You been causing mayhem. Don't you got a man though? She don't wanna. So
I was like, all right, let me do this. At that time, I didn't know it was illegal to use samples, but that's a different story. We just going, hey, it is what it is. We're gonna put it out as promotion, right? And Greenlight, it just felt like the 80s. It felt like the 90s together, molded, but like had a modern twist to it with the flows. And I just had so much fun with it. And again, thanks to Stefan. Stefan sent the beat when I was just chilling in the barracks room, back in the day. We went to the studio at Ray's studio. And I remember him, doing whatever he did to it to make it sound okay. And we were like, yeah, this could be a one. This could be, something that, people like. And I was like, yeah, I believe so too. And to this day, people still tell me about it. Or they post it on my Instagram where they send me a message like, hey, I'm still listening. This song, man. It's like, yeah, it's one of those ones. It was one of those ones, man.
Oh yeah, dude. And here's where I want to ask a little bit more in depth on this one, just because of the way that the production was. And then now that you mentioned Stefan again, it's like I see what you meant in that sense. It's like he has an ear. He has a very specific ear to the way that it goes. But on the lyrics itself, sorry for my ways, meet me when you can. So, like I said, that one hits a little bit specifically, just because it's like. You feel it very, very specifically, right?
Yeah, and I was at fault on that song.
Ooh.
Help me.
Okay.
Help me. I'm sorry. Meet me when you can. All right.
Damn.
I wasn't acting right. It was an apology song. It's just green light. Give me the green light. It was kind of give me the green light. If that idea came in, and I was like, green light is a perfect way to just green light. It's perfect. Perfect. I love that song, especially at that time. Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And then to finish it off, this is the these are the two extra parts that hit me at like at the very end. So trying to find a green light, someone's got to go. We can't do this anymore. We say like
Yeah.
we say somewhere down the road, but you won't be as good without me. So give me a good final preface on that specific because putting it in the
Man.
chorus is very, I don't want to say it's very generic, but it's very purposeful. It's a very
Yeah.
it's a generic way of kind of encapsulating the whole entire song, but it's a very purposeful way of underlining and highlighting that lyrics and what you're trying to write. So where does that fit
Yeah.
in?
So when I was writing that part, I was kind of having the storyline. I was writing a script, so it was pretty much a female and a male, or whatever, people in a relationship. They're going through something where they are with other people, but they keep drawing each other to, they keep drawing each other to each other. Like they're just, they can't escape each other. And it's like green light, someone's got to go, but we say, this could be the end of the road regardless, but somebody has to draw the line. And it was, in a sense, when I wrote, you won't be as good without me, it's just like that pride coming up in somebody regardless. There's always that pride from any, a male, female, whatnot, that you feel like you have to be hard in your heart when you're leaving somebody, so you protect yourself. But I mean, of course, we know it's 2025. We know that's not healthy. Mental health is a real thing, and we got to stand on that. So yeah, but it was something in the sense that that's relatable, really relatable, for myself to other people who I've spoken to, my friends, family. Yeah, man, it was just one of those things. Like, yeah, that song is, it was nice. It was a nice story. I loved it.
No, and it all brings it all together too, because it's like the newer thing was what now the I guess how the Urban Dictionary definition would be like a situationship, but what we would kind of call it back then like the sneaky links. It's like see, as I tell you. So, but it makes sense. It makes sense. Like I said, I didn't want to make the assumption about the song itself, but like I said, the lyrics, like there's the deliberation of how it was written and how it was put together, just like all the other songs. It's like there's the emotion and the drive that you want to portray and what you want to put out there, and it hits it, and then the fact that that Stefan's production gives it that little extra oomph to kind of feel like, this could be a little bit of a dance spot. This is a little bit, and then you start listening to it. I'm like, hold on, man, I'm feeling a little emotional here on that.
Yeah, man. Stefan has a way. Stefan has this weird way, and he'll attest to this. Sometimes he's like, "Nah, I don't know what I just did. I just put it together, and pieced it up, and it sounds good." I'm like, "Bro, you can't just say that like you just didn't make something that's magical. Like it sounds pretty great to everybody." But yeah, it's a lot of music that I made in the past and to this day is driven towards an emotion that everybody feels. Mainly love, mainly situations. But yeah, man, I can't wait to bring out the new stuff that we got cooking. It's gonna be I wouldn't even say life change. I would say it's just gonna be a shift. It's gonna be a nice little shift. A nice little shift, yeah.
Yeah, dude. Well, with that, then to be able to kind of close off the interview, so what new projects do you have in the works, and then when can I guess we see, or at least a general timeline of like at least a couple previews for what's coming out from you?
Oh, as soon as possible. So pretty much, I have been working on my new page. I have a new Instagram page, Mike York's Music. I also have my current page, official Mike York's, that's up right now. But I'm posting consistently now because there's so much music that we have to repurpose in a sense from the past. And a lot of people are messaging me like, man, this song is amazing. I'm like, yeah, it came out 2 years ago. And it's just like, no matter what, no matter how old a song is, it's always new to somebody if they haven't heard it. So that video for Somersault Fine Line is going to drop in July, early July, hopefully the 4th, if that's possible, kind of like the anniversary of when it dropped 3 years ago, technically. So yeah, with that being said, all the new music will be dropping. I got music coming in July, August, September, October, and November and December. We're gonna drop a lot of new music that I've been holding back for a while because I've just been waiting for the right time. But at the end of the day, right now is always the right time. So you always got to take advantage of that breath that you got in your lungs. You know what I mean? So yeah, I can't wait.
No,
Can't
very
wait.
true. Very true. And
Yeah.
especially with our new modern way to be able to communicate so quickly. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, dude. But to kind of close it off, again, one, thank you. Thank you. Unless you have questions or something you want to ask me or concerns, man. Like I said, if not, I think this is a pretty good spot.
Oh, nah, man. I just want to appreciate and thank you for holding such a great platform, having people come on come take your time and you ask questions about our lives. You're putting us on the spotlight, and it feels amazing. Same with what you did with Malik, and I can't wait to see the one that you have with Stefan in the future and whoever in the future. Another thing, sorry to take the spotlight, but this shirt was made by Christ-like Clothing. My brother, my boy Reggie Figs, he made this, and I just wanted to shout that out because I love the shirt and I love what he's doing. He's also in the military and he's an awesome person. But yeah, man, I just wanted to give a thanks to a lot of people that shaped my life. And even if I've forgotten them or in this interview, like in Spain, I want to say my boy Michael McMonagle, we called him Stoop Kid, Dimes, Liss, Snoop 3 Real. A lot of people in that time before I went to Hawaii made Somersault Fine Line, made Night Like This. They shaped that time. That was when we were doing shows in Spain. It was awesome. Just came off of a show in LA at LA Swim Week, which was a blessing. And I just can't wait to continue to grow. And especially with my tribe, that's what I call them, my people. They are the reason, and God, of course, is the reason. I have a strict and amazing love for God, and I love it. So I can't wait to see what the future holds, man. So I'm excited.
No, dude, that sounds freaking awesome. Like I said, hey, dude, no worries about who you need to shout out, dude. That's what the platform is for. So if you want to call them out, man, call them out. No worries, bro.
I call out like 100 more people. So got shout out my auntie back in the day. She
For sure. Oh yeah, man, yeah.
Yeah. Cousin Leroy. He loved ice cream, but couldn't stomach sardines at the time. But yeah. No.
Hey, dang old Leroy, man. Something was about it.
Leroy, man. But most definitely, man. I appreciate your time, man. And we will do this again. I definitely look forward to doing this again. I got you locked in. So
hey, dude, no worries, man. But yeah, dude. So yeah, before we close it off and sign off, so you said Instagram at Mike Yorks Official. And then where else can you find you on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, same?
So Spotify, Mike Yorks, YouTube, you'll find Mike Yorks Music. And then for Instagram, I got 2 accounts, official Mike Yorks, and then I got just Mike Yorks Music. Man, I got so much. But yeah, you can find me on all platforms for music, Mike Yorks with a Z, YORKZ at the end. And yeah, there's more to come. There's so much more to come. And just real quick, that shout out for the LA Swim Week performance I had last week. Such a blessing. I want to give a shout out to my boy Tony and his girlfriend Miranda. They set up everything in gym. They set up a whole, just a performance for me, just off of the strength of love, just off of the strength of them liking my music and putting me on such a nice big platform in LA. So that was a big moment. But yes, official Mike Yorks Music at Instagram, Mike Yorks on Spotify and on all other platforms. I truly appreciate your time, John. Thank you. Thank you.
Dude, not a problem. Thank you. And like I said, you heard it here. I'll definitely put that out there with the description and everything. And like I said, to close it off, one again as well, thank you for coming up on Soundbits, man, to give me the opportunity to be able to another up and coming artist who already has good performances out in LA, man. Don't think I wasn't stalking you on Instagram. I saw it. I'm like, this man, like, how popular is he? Like, I'm not looking at followers, but like, how popular is he to be performing out in LA? I'm like, you know what? I don't gotta say anything, man. The music speaks for itself.
Yeah, that's the goal. Let the music speak for itself, man. That's all that matters. Let the people get what they want to listen to. That's all that matters, man.
Exactly, dude. Well, I think this is a good spot, man. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike Yorks, for coming up on the Soundbits. And then we'll go ahead. We'll close it off for tonight. Have a good rest of your evening.
All right, you too. Shout out Soundbits. Appreciate you. All right.
I had enough of enough sense. Talking up a storm, yeah, I hear her up there. Cause if you upset, you can bring it downstairs. Nah, keep it upstairs. I ain't trying to get wet. Pause, get it? Nah, I never should have crossed her. So right before the toss up. I mean, she play good D when she take good D. Nigga, she the only one up on the roster. Like, when she tryna put a nigga on silent, like, whoa. Gotta tell her everything I did for her to just remind her, like, she ain't tryna hear it, she wanna make the fire bright. And even that make a man